Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to Escape from Crazytown, where we escape the craziness, right, of narcissistic, crazy people. So, welcome today. We have a great topic, which is, a lot of times we come out of narcissistic abuse, and especially, mainly, we want to know that we mattered to the narcissist. And one of the things I hear people ask often is, does the narcissist even remember me? Do they think about me at all? And I got to say, though, that we become part of the narcissist story. So they do remember us. So I'll start off right there and tell you, yes, they absolutely remember you. They don't forget, by the way. They don't forget. And we'll go into quite a few reasons why they don't forget and what we're really seeking when we ask ourselves if the narcissist remembers us. So, as I wait for you guys to hop on, I'm going to go over our crappies and happies this week. Yes, so this is a happy crappy hour where we talk about the good things that happened and what we want to continue doing, and the bad things that happened this week, and therefore things we want to stop doing, right? And avoid. But for me, this week, my happy was that I started doing a study that I should have done a long time ago. It's a Bible in 1 year. I've never read the entire Bible. I've only read parts of it. Now, those of you who are not Christian, just bear with me here for a minute. The reason I wanted to do this is so that I can put this whole story together better. And it's a really good time for me to reflect and go back to my foundation. And it gives me a lot of hope. So that's my happy. My happy gives me this. What I'm doing right now is allowing me to take the time for myself, for self reflection, for learning and spending time with God. And it has been a really good week for me doing that. So I started this actually January 1st is what my little challenge to myself this year is to get through the entire Bible. So then my crappy though this week has been, I don't know that I did this so much, but I did start feeling bad about myself. And I was wondering, why am I feeling bad? And not like completely bad about myself, but it was that I expected to be in a different place. Like I was feeling kind of down. And I think a lot of us go through this. We start to feel down, and then we're like, why am I feeling down? I thought that once I healed, once I got over this wound, I will never feel down again. But that's not the case. It's okay that you feel down because other things happen in your life that are going to be a disappointment or maybe a setback, right? Or maybe you just had a bad day where somebody looked at you wrong or treated you wrong, and of course that's not going to make you feel good. So you're going to have these slight setbacks, or you're going to feel bad, or you're going to feel a little sad, or maybe even depressed. And it's okay because we're human. Don't compare yourself. This is what I learned from this. Okay, the reason I felt even worse than I should have was because I compared myself to other people who were further along. And it would appear to, from my perspective, that the other person is healed and they're doing great and they're moving forward financially, or they're moving forward with their careers, or they're moving forward with other relationships. And then I feel like I'm kind of behind in that way. So my crappy was that I allowed myself to compare to where other people are, and even imagine that other people are doing better than I am. Because when you start going down that slippery slope, right, of feeling bad about yourself, and feeling like you're not accomplishing as much as you should have, and you're not as far along in healing as you should be, or that you're feeling depressed when you thought you would never feel depressed again, and then you compare yourself to others and see, like, well, how is this other person doing, and are they doing the same thing I am, and are they falling into the same patterns, or going down the same road that I am. And when you see that they're not, that's comparing, right? And then you start to think worse about yourself, and it just snowballs from there. So I did catch myself, so that's the good news. I caught myself, and have started focusing more on where I am and what I have to deal with. Why am I feeling sad? What am I disappointed about? Right? Is it something that I can control, or is it something I can't control? So these are really good questions to ask yourself too. So my crappy turned to be a out to be a learning experience. And what I learned was to ask myself, what can I do in this situation to change it? Right? What can I do? What am I responsible for? What can I affect? And there were things that I couldn't affect, right? There were things in my purview that, you know what, the circumstance I'm in, it's not my responsibility, but here I am. Um, there are decisions I can't make. It depended on other people. So you have to allow that. Like, okay, then I'm not going to feel bad about it because that's not my territory. What you focus on then is what can you do? And that's where I started being more productive. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think a lot of us, if not all of us, at one time or another, will fall into that situation. And we feel like, oh, we're going backwards. And I thought I'd come so far. How can I be going backwards now? And you feel defeated. Don't feel defeated. Don't be so hard on yourself. And certainly don't compare yourself and your progress to other people's progress. Okay? Because that's only going to make it worse. Well, good to see you guys hopping on here. John Bailey, good to see you. And Lady Marks, Just Be Real, good to see you two coming on. Jihad, good to see you. Good morning. And Clifford, nice to see you. Let's see. Aw, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Clifford, oh, thank you. She said, I shared 2 videos that helped me out on Facebook. Thanks. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. And sorry, somebody was giving me an update here. John, so here's an update. She wrote me permission to speak openly. I said, sure, what's on your mind? And then crickets. Oh my goodness. Crickets. Yeah, here's the narcissist. They send out the bait. They ask you a question, you answer it, and then you hear nothing back, right? Like, okay, what do you want to say? And then they only wanted to make sure they insert themselves into your life, even for the day. They just want to make sure you're thinking about them, and they have really nothing of quality to add to your life. They just wanted to insert themselves. They wanted to make sure you remember them. So this brings us to our topic today. A lot of times we get out of this relationship with a narcissist, whether they discard us or we discard them. It's going to be painful because getting out of a relationship, stopping or ending a relationship, ends in a loss, right? You're going to go through the healing process of a loss. You're going to go through the mourning and the anger and the questioning and the deals that you'll make with yourself, like I'm never going to do this again, or I'll always do this next time. And anyway, you go through all of this. It's going to have an effect on you anytime you end a relationship, and especially with a narcissist because they get in so deeply. I was reading something today which I thought was just really smart, really um, thought provoking. And the question was, when you leave a narcissist, do you feel like they left a void? But actually, when you leave a narcissist, you've discovered that they were the void in your life. They created this hole in your life that can never be filled. They create this hole in your life that just sucks all the life out of you. And you can never feel fulfilled with a narcissist because whatever you have, whatever you build up inside of yourself, whatever self-esteem you build up, they're going to rob you of it. They're going to steal it from you. And and this goes with even what I want to say, financial things, right? Whatever you build up for yourself, they're going to take. So any advance you make in life, they're going to set you back. They're going to create this void that just sucks the life out of you and all the progress you're making in your life. And when they leave, you might feel like, oh, I miss this person. And at least I had companionship. But after a few months, you start to realize it's not really companionship that they gave you. They were there, but they were just they were there to take from you. They actually created a void in you, in your life, where it's like a bottomless pit that you can never fill, right? You'll work and work and work to try to fill this pit, and they just never allow for this pit to be filled. And you just work yourself to death. It's just, anyway, what happens is once you discover that, you realize you're free from that and you never have to do that again. You start to feel so good. You start to feel so much freer. You start to see the narcissist in a real light. And that is where a lot of your healing will start to just jump forward. You're going to start healing in leaps and bounds. And that's the crazy thing about healing from narcissistic relationships or relationships with narcissists, is that it seems so slow going at first. The first week, of course, is just devastation. The first month, you're paralyzed possibly with fear and with pain and with regret. So all these negative things are coming out of you, questioning yourself, your own self-worth, right? And then the second month, third month, fourth month, you are in this turmoil where you're doubting yourself. You don't even trust yourself anymore because you made such a bad decision to stay with that narcissist, and they turned you inside out and upside down to the point where you don't trust your own decision making, right? So there's a lot of resetting that has to do with yourself when you come out of a narcissistic abusive relationship. You start to have to build your own self-esteem. You have to begin somewhere. But here's the good news. After however long it might take you, I know some people have, it's taken years, and the reason I think it takes years is because they look back fondly at the narcissist. They don't look back with a lens of reality. They look back with the lens of fantasy that the narcissist created, right? They look back with longing and believing the future faking. They look back and feel that loss of a fake future. You know, they're mourning a loss of something that never was going to be. It's one thing to mourn something that was, but then when you're mourning something that was never going to be anyway, it's endless. You will mourn forever, right? Or you can wake up and realize it was never going to happen. Now I have reality in front of me. Like, mourn the real things that were there. But then once you start mourning those things, once you start examining the reality of your relationship with the narcissist, you're going to realize that it was horrible. It was a nightmare. You were on eggshells all the time. You were being demeaned every day. You were being criticized every day. You had to explain all the choices you made throughout the day, like why you took a shower even, right? Like, why did you take a shower before I took a shower? Why didn't you wait till after? Why did you eat that muffin? You know, why didn't you fill up the car yesterday instead of today? I mean, holy cow. If you think back to what you experienced with the narcissist, and with a lens of reality, okay, through the lens of reality, you look back at your relationship, you'll realize, oh my gosh, there was so much negative there. There was so much criticism there and devaluation there, that you are actually in a really good place now, that you have no one to do that to you, right? They're not there to do that to you anymore. You actually got rid of a freaking gypsy curse, right? You no longer have to deal with this curse that's on you, that dogs you day and night, that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, when I come home, I don't want to see their car there. If you had that regret or that feeling when you drove home from work and you saw their car there, your heart would sink. That is what reality is. That's the reality of what you had with the narcissist. So we have to wake ourselves up. Okay, you guys, we have to wake ourselves up to what was reality. Well, hey, you guys, so glad to see you hopping on. Angel 7. Yeah, Angel 7 says she's still in the doubting phase. Yeah, well, you're doubting yourself, right? And that's going to start going away, by the way. I want to give you hope, because you will get to the point where when you see the past as it really is, And here's the hard part. You see yourself as you really were too, because we were all broken to have gotten into that situation with the narcissist, right? Even if you were flying high, doing great, you were the star, and the narcissist was attracted to you because you're the, amazing, passionate, life giving, excellent person. The problem is there's something in your life there that allowed you to cling to the narcissist, like their promises without even evidence, right? They will make all these fake promises to you, and you will cling to it because something inside of you was broken that said, oh, I want this so badly to be true. And here's the deal. Once you see yourself for where you really were in that relationship and what your neediness was, what you were lacking that allowed the narcissist to cling on to you and allowed you to actually be attracted to lies. I mean, there are going to be red flags that make you think, is this really true? But you want to believe it at that time. So you get stuck there. Once you realize what it was that you were lacking that allowed the narcissist to burrow their way into your life, you can cover that up. You can fill that in. You start to fill the foundation over that and get rid of it. And now the next person that comes in with these fake lies and fake promises, you're going to be like, okay, well, I don't need that anymore. What I need is to see that you are doing what you're saying you're doing. I want to see you back up your words with action, right? I want to see proof. And you're going to be more wise. The good news is that once you get to these points, once you heal yourself from the brokenness that caused you to allow this narcissist into your life. Some people have been addicts, right? And the narcissist comes in and it seems like the narcissist is going to give you stability. Well, once you recognize, like, oh my gosh, I was an addict. I didn't control myself. I relied, and addiction can be many things. It could be even social media. You can be addicted to social media. And you feel like that's where I get my escape from reality. If you feel like you have to escape from reality regularly, that's a wound and that's a weakness. And you can work on that. Anyway, once you do that, once you realize what weaknesses you have and you fill it instead with positive good things. So instead of going to social media, for instance, you read a book, you educate yourself. You can be on your phone, but then you're doing research and reading articles or reading books online or watching motivational talks. That would be something that builds you up and not just makes you escape into some fantasy world. Escaping into a fantasy world doesn't fix your problem. It just gives you a temporary reprieve from your problems, but then your problems are still there. So once you're able to realize or recognize what issues you have to deal with, what weaknesses or what wounds you're dealing with inside of yourself, you're going to be able to see the narcissist clearer and clearer. Yeah, as you continue to heal, you're going to go back and as you look at the narcissist, you're going to be like, holy cow, that's the truth. Holy cow, why was I attracted to that disaster? You're going to see like, oh my gosh, you can even imagine if the narcissist were to come into your life now, doing the same things they did when they caught you back whenever it was, years ago or months ago. You're going to go, how did I fall for that? Why would I fall for that, right? Well, anyway, that is the good news. I'm going to talk some more actually about what does the narcissist remember you? And the reason I say that the narcissist does remember you is because you become a part of their story now. You are now embedded in their history. They will use their memory of you, and they may even twist some of it, but some of it will be actually fondly. They will think back to the good things you did for them because they want to use that against the new supply. They're going to remember the positive. Oh, you were, they could always rely on you, right? You always remembered to get their favorite whatever, dessert. You learned how to cook their favorite meal. You did their favorite things in the bedroom, right? They're going to use that in their story when they talk to the new supply and try to manipulate the new supply. You are part of their story. And John, you were talking about your ex, that she is continually contacting you and getting back in contact with you and kind of like inserting herself into your life, trying to insert herself. And, oh, excuse me, hold on, you guys. Let me grab a cup of water. This happens when I talk through the whole time. But she inserts herself into your life. And the reason for her continually doing this is because she is using her memory of you. She wants to stay connected to you. Obviously, she remembers you, right? But she's using this also to manipulate the new supply, her current husband, with whom she is miserable, right? She's told John that she's miserable with the new husband and that she made a mistake and never should have left John. But here's the deal. She's going to be a complete disaster to John if she ever comes back. So John, please never, ever, ever go back. Don't let this happen. But what's happening right now for John and happens with us, we're just not aware of it because our narcissistic ex may not be in our life anymore, may not be contacting us anymore. But I tell you, guaranteed, this narcissist is talking about you to the new supply. Because whatever it is that you did well, whatever it is that they actually liked about you, but they won't tell you that they like this about you. And whatever you did that made them feel worthy, whatever you did that gave them attention, they're going to use that against the new supply and tell the new supply that you used to do all these things for them. And how come the new supply doesn't do it? Or the new supply doesn't do it as well as you used to do it for them. And the weird thing is that they're going to build you up in their mind. They're going to start to miss you. And then they're going to start thinking, hey, maybe I could have that old supply back in my life. And that's when they start contacting you. That's when they'll send out a little feeler to see if you're responsive to them, if there's any chance that you'll let them back into your life, any chance at all that you're going to entertain them, right? That you're going to be supply for them again. They want to know, like, can they come back and take up your time, maybe lean on you, maybe complain about the new supply to you, right? Because they think that you're a safe person for them because you did love them. You did treat them well. You were someone that was willing, more than others, right, to take their crap. So they want that back. They now realize they valued some of that, right? They now realize they're missing out on that. So that's why they start to try to hoover you back in. But you have grown. You are now stronger, and you're not going to take that crap anymore. So you're a different person now. And you're not as broken as you used to be when you were with them. Realize that you're not as broken as you used to be when you were with them. You had to be really broken to continually take the abuse that they gave, that they handed out, the neglect, the blaming, the criticizing. You had to be that way in order for them to get away with it. But now, if you were to get back together with them, in their mind, you're going to be the same person. In their mind, the narcissist's mind, you didn't change. You're going to be the same person that they can push over, that they can manipulate, that they can control. But you know that if they come back into your life, there's no way you're putting up with that again, right? You're going to require that they change. And here's the deal. If you have a relationship with someone who is not a narcissist, they will change. They will come back into your life and realize what they did wrong and that they can't treat you that way, that they were being the bad guy, right? They were being manipulative or controlling or abusive or demanding or selfish. They'll recognize that because there are people out there who are toxic because maybe of the abuse they received, right? Maybe because they were taught and they learned how to be pretty much a terrible person if they were raised by a parent who was a terrible person or a parent who indulged their every need and want and desire. So they become this very selfish person. But these people can actually grow out of it with a partner who challenges them and doesn't put up with it, right? If they love that partner enough, they will change. But the thing with a narcissist is they can't even see that they need to change. Narcissist doesn't even know, or when you tell them how selfish they were being, they'll deflect it. They'll project it back onto you. They'll deny it, right? And and then they'll accuse you of exactly what they just did and exactly what you just accused them of. So you'll get nowhere with a narcissist. But with a person who happens to be broken, just like you were, just like all of us, they'll change, just like we change. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. But let me go on to here. There are a lot of comments. I want to hear what you have to say. Obi-Wan, good to see you back. Yeah. Obi says, I got stuck with a damaged one with a narc family. Ooh. Yes. When you're involved with a narcissist that also has a narc family, I mean, it's kind of exciting at first and it's kind of entertaining, and they will suck you in because you're like, wow, I've never been around people who are so, well, they're explosive, but also very exciting, right? And so that draws you in. But then you realize, holy cow, how toxic it is, how explosively toxic it is. And that's when you want to escape. That's when you open your eyes and you're like, what the heck? Yeah. Aw. Jennifer, good to see you. Good morning. And good morning, Dangerous Conversations. Aw. Let me see. Yeah, Angel says, yeah, they sucked the life out of me, the narc. Yep. Rissa Riss, good to see you. Aw. Jennifer says, everything you're saying right now and so far, wow, I'm shook. You're so spot on. All right. I've been talking to myself for the last couple of minutes. I don't know if you're back again. I'm so sorry. But YouTube just interrupted me with a commercial and then kicked me off. And hopefully you'll be hopping back on. I'm going to continue to read these comments and see if you guys come back. Hopefully you do. Let me see where I was. Oh, let me see. Where is it now? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to go back into these comments where I was. It says everything. Jennifer says, hey, welcome back, you guys. I'm seeing more of you hopping back on. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. YouTube just kicked me off, and then I thought I was on. So frustrating. Jennifer says, everything you're saying right now, oops, and so far, wow, I'm shook. You're so spot on. It's incredible with every little thing. So much negativity and criticism, yes. It was never going to happen, and reality is here. Yeah, everything that they talked about they were going to do and that you are mourning, everything that you're missing, a lot of it was fake, right? So you can't continue to allow yourself to miss and mourn something that was never going to happen. That will keep you from healing. You have to actually let go of the thing that was never going to happen anyway and only mourn the things that actually did happen. And what you're going to find out is there's very little to mourn with the loss of a narcissist. There's a lot to celebrate once you get out of there, though. Yeah. Jennifer says, fake news, LOL, yep. So, yeah, the narcissist is the king and queen of fake news. They make up all kinds of things, and they even tell their new supply, their flying monkeys, anyone who's watching. Don't even look at the evidence. Don't listen to my ex because you can't believe my ex. Everything, and they'll tell you that the ex is lying. They'll tell their new supply that you are lying. So don't listen to my ex. My ex is just bitter and angry and is heartbroken because I chose you instead of my ex. They'll just make up all kinds of stories for your motives, right? Which aren't even real. And then they'll convince the new supply or the flying monkeys of all this fake stuff, of all the things that they made up. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Says, I don't remember when or how I found your account, but I'm honestly so thankful I did. Thank you for all you do and bring to light. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That keeps me going because there are times where I think, should I keep doing this? And is this even helping? But I know it's helping. I know that there are people who are coming on um, that say these things, just like you were saying, Jennifer. And I appreciate hearing that because I need to know that this is helping people. I like that, Obi. It says, just laugh at your problems. Everyone else does. Just kidding. Yep. Angel 7 says, nope, it will never happen again. No more abuse. Yep. Angel says he always twisted the truth to make a better story for himself. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say is that the narcissist does remember you. They remember you. Maybe they even exaggerate the good things about you. So that's kind of funny, right? Because when they were with you, they didn't do that. But while they're with the new supply, they're going to exaggerate even the good things about you, their ex, because they need to manipulate the new supply. So that's one of their favorite manipulations, their tactics. Um, what it's kind of good actually. Feels good about for you. You should feel good about that. That this narcissist is going to build you up in their fake stories to the point where they actually even will miss you. Yeah, isn't that crazy? They will then they'll become the one they get caught in their own traps, by the way. They become so caught up in the stories they tell about you to the new supply that they make you now out to be this really fantastic catch that they lost out on, right? And now they're going to try to come back. They're going to try to hook up again. They're going to try to hoover you back in because they have spoken about you in such a positive way, built you up in their minds in order to build you up in the mind of the new supply. Now they're going to try to get you back because they're like, wow, that was good supply. And they're going to come seeking you. So be careful of that. Don't fall for that. Now, I don't know if you caught this part before we went off because I thought I came back online, but apparently I wasn't. But when they try to hoover you back in, and they're going they're going to think of you as the same person you were when you left. They're going to assume that you're going to do the same things that you used to do or put up with the same crap that you used to put up with. And the good news is that you are different now. You are changed. You're stronger now. You're more aware now. So no, you're not going to be the exact same person they were able to manipulate when you were with them before. So that's why a lot of times when they come back into your life, you start to stand up for yourself. And they're not going to put up with that, right? They're going to get madder and wonder, why are you different now? Why aren't you the same as the way, I remember you? And it's because you have grown. You've grown a backbone also, right? But you've healed. You recognize the reality now of abuse and you're less likely to put up with it. You're just more sensitive to it. You're not going to walk on eggshells anymore. You're not going to allow them to criticize you anymore. You notice when they're pouting that they're manipulating you and you don't feel sympathy for that anymore, right? All their tricks now don't work with you anymore. And the sad thing, though, for some people is that the narcissist gets even meaner right? They get even more controlling because now they feel like they have to break you in order to get you back under control. So that's why I don't recommend getting back together with a narcissist. So the difference between a narcissist and someone who's just wounded, like you are wounded and I'm wounded, um, the difference is that a wounded person can change. A wounded person can heal. And a wounded person wants to change, wants to heal, wants to be a better person for their lover or for their partner. While a narcissist can't even see that they need to change, can't even see that they have anything that they need to fix, right? They just think that the whole problem lies on their supply, lies on you. And if only you would change, then life would be better for them. They're not thinking if only they can change certain things about themselves because they don't like certain things about themselves, then your relationship would be a lot better. They don't think that way. So when you're with a narcissist and you're seeing that they're not willing to change, they're not willing to even see that they have any problems, they're constantly berating you. Now, I'm not talking about when you have a disagreement and you just don't see eye to eye. That's okay. That's normal in a relationship, you guys. You don't see eye to eye. You don't see things the same way because everybody can be manipulative. They don't even mean to be, but in a situation where both people want to be heard and both people feel like they're not being heard, they can hurt each other. That's why when you get to that situation, to that point where you're feeling like there's some communication block here, it would be good to get a mediator or a counselor to come in and help you talk to one another and be heard, right? To kind of mediate the conversation so that you don't talk over each other or attack each other, and they help you with that. But with a narcissist, they're not going to be interested in that because first of all, they're going to manipulate the situation. We've talked about this in the past, and I haven't talked about it actually in quite a while, but a narcissist knows how to manipulate counselors and therapists because they play that victim role very well. And as we all know, they're not the same person outside the house as they are behind the closed doors of a house, right? So in front of a therapist, they're going to put on their best behavior. They're going to act like they listen carefully. They're going to act like they do all kinds of things for you. And they'll even get you to agree. Like, remember when I filled up the car for you? Remember when I made you dinner? And then to the therapist, they're going to think, wow, this is a good person. Maybe the person who's coming to me and is complaining about the narcissist has no foundation for the complaints, right? They start to believe the narcissist. So in that situation, it doesn't help, and you'll recognize that too. You come out of there like, holy cow, I got nothing resolved, and I only got, I saw how much they hit it off with the therapist. You see your narcissistic partner hitting it off with the therapist, and you're like, what the heck just happened? But when you are with someone who's just broken, just like you are, when you're with a therapist, you'll see that it's not just a one-way thing. You'll see that both of you have things to work on. Both of you have assignments from the from the therapist. Sorry, you guys. Both of you will see and accept your responsibility in the relationship and commit to making changes until the next time you meet with the therapist. Whereas with a narcissist, they're going to make agreements to change hardly anything. And you're like, wait, but they already do that. And they still don't recognize when they hurt me. Anyway, things just don't change when you meet with a therapist with a narcissist. Yep. Stephanie says, thank God I'm not where I used to be. Exactly. Angel says, yep, been so many hoovers. No more. Last time I trusted him, he hurt me worse than ever. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, so, that's what happens. When they convince you to let them back into their life, you're not the same person anymore, and they're going to have to up their game and their control, that is. So it's much uglier. It's not like they're going to be much nicer. They're going to be much uglier because they're going to try to break you back down so that you'll put up with all the things you used to put up with. Yeah. Obi says, when a person abuses you, there's no more to share with this person. And I would agree with that. Yes. Obi says, these are pathetic clowns. Yep. Maria, good to see you, says, I taught myself how to use and work with Linux. I'm still learning to this day. It's not something that a narc could sabotage, even if they made it their mission. Wow, that's fantastic. You know, once you start working on yourself, once you start building and taking care of the things that you can take care of, right? It's amazing how much you can build up your life. It's amazing how much you can add to your life. Don't focus on the things that you cannot change. Only focus on the things that you can change. So Maria, thank you for sharing that. Yep. Aw, thanks. Stephanie says, thanks to these channels and great content, we can heal and grow. Yes. Yep. Obi says, I already miss her. That was when I got cut off there, you guys. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Jennifer says, mine is just buffering. Oh, okay. Okay. Yay. This is when you guys were all coming back on. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. So got back on. OB says 99.9% of a narc is fake. Yeah. Yep. Jennifer says so many long waiting and empty and oh, so hold on. Empty promises. How are we to know? I still can't believe it in a way. So yeah, I'm thankful to be getting past and through it now. But ugh, yeah, you know why it all these promises appeal to us where we're broken. All right. Um, Wherever it is that you're lacking in your life, that's where the narcissist is going to be able to come in and make promises to fill those areas that are lacking in your life. And that's this void that you think they're filling, right? You think that they're filling some void in your life. And actually, they're not really filling it because they're only giving you fantasy. They're only giving you lies. They're filling this void with lies that you wish were true. I was just reading an article that had to do with Bernie Madoff, and that's what he did. He was so charming, and he got the people who gave millions of dollars to him, by the way, their whole life savings. They gave it to him, thinking that he was going to give them this beautiful, amazing, financially set life for the rest of their life, and that he was going to give them open like a whole new world to them, of financial freedom that they never thought they could even achieve. And these are high achieving people who already had millions of dollars, right? But now he's making it seem like, yeah, and now you won't have to work hard to keep that lifestyle anymore. And I'm going to make it so that you're on easy street now. So he's promising them these things that they wish they had. And maybe, and in this article, it talked about the people who he was able to victimize were actually um, perpetrators themselves. And you can look at it that way. What I see is that they were broken, right? Maybe they had jealousy issues. Maybe they had greed issues. Maybe they looked at their other counterparts, right? And thought, how come they're so much richer than I am? How can they afford all these other things? Because even rich people, right? No matter how rich they get, there's going to be somebody else who's richer, right? Except for the very, very, very top tier. So they're going to think, oh, I can be as rich as this other person who's far richer than I am. And that's enticing to them. And the brokenness there is that they're not content with what they have. So someone like Bernie Madoff, someone like a narcissist can come in and promise them beyond where they are now because they never learned to be just content with where they are now. They're going to um, they're going to buy into the lie of, hey, life can be so much easier. You won't have to work as hard, and then you can still keep up this lifestyle. And that's enticing to someone, right? Maybe they're putting too much stock in their finances and not enough into just relationships, right? And we all do that. We tend to put the wrong focus on certain things in our life, and we could become materialistic. We could become even social medialistic, right? Where we feel like the more likes we get, the more views we get, you live for that, popularity, I guess, instead of what's really important. And a narcissist comes in to that place where your focus is not where it should be, and then expands on that. And once they expand on that and make you dream really big on that point, oh, you're going to get millions of views. Your videos are going to go viral, or your posts, or, you're going to be so popular. Everybody's going to like you. It could be very enticing, right? And here's the deal. That's kind of your brokenness that is appeal, how am I trying to say? Your brokenness is attracted to that, is attracted to those promises and that fake future and all the lies that the narcissist says. And somehow they know what drives you because they see you light up. Okay, for what they see, we're not hard to read. Most people are not that hard to read. So they'll keep playing up the things that tends to make you light up. And then they know they've got you. They've got you. So what I'm saying is that now, when a narcissist comes back into your life and you recognize, and it's a hard truth, by the way, to admit to yourself, oh, I was kind of greedy, or I was kind of narcissistic, well, I don't know what you want to say about that, but wanting attention, okay, if you're into social media. Oh, I needed, I felt bad when I didn't get as many views or as many thumbs up. And I felt much better when I got a ton of thumbs up. Or so many people remembered my birthday and wished me a birthday, on social media. And when you can tell yourself, wow, why am I getting so much worth out of that? Once you deal with that, once you deal with the truth of that, it's not as ugly as you think it is. Okay, so we're all selfish. Let's just admit that, all right? We all would like for people to wish us happy birthday. We all would like to be seen. We all would like to be heard. Just don't get caught up in it, right? Don't make that your identity. Don't make that the biggest value in your life. And once you are in control of those things, then when a narcissist comes into your life and they promise you all these things, it just won't even capture you. You'd be like, no big deal. I'm thankful that people wish me a happy birthday. I'm thankful for those thumbs up. I'm glad so many people agree with this post. But then you don't get your identity out of it. And when that happens, the narcissist has no control over you. The narcissist will not be able to manipulate you by convincing you, oh, I can, I'm going to make you so popular. I'm going to give you so much. You're going to be financially set. If these are not the things that drive you, you're not going to be manipulated by the narcissist. Yep. Oh, wow. Sue R, good to see you. It's been a while. Oh, man, you guys have some really good comments here, so I'm going to go back and check it out. Hold on, you guys. Oh. Hold on, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to, oh, here we go. Maybe I need to change this setting, and that'll help. Ah, Suey says hi. Yeah, Eric, good to see you. Yeah, Angel says I don't have my birthday posted on any social media. That's a good idea actually. And I'm gonna get off of some social media as well because it's just a drain in my life. Yeah, yeah, I like that. Eric says, don't waste your time looking back at what you lost. Upwards and onwards, forward. Hi from Eric in Scotland. Good to see you. Yeah. Obi brought up a good point. My happiness brings narcissist ego shattering news. That exactly. I have a video or a couple of videos. I think I had a part one and a part two. How to get back at a narcissist. Yeah. And it is shattering news to the narcissist because not only do they remember you, but they keep track of you because they're still in competition with you. They want to know that they mattered in your life. And so for them to believe that they mattered in your life or to have evidence of that, they think that your life has to be shattered. They think that if you're devastated and shattered and unable to get married again or unable to be happy, unable to move forward, then they think that's the effect they had on you. Now, the truth is probably more likely that you just have brokenness that you need to heal from, and they are this derailment in your life that kept you from healing and made the wound worse, right? They did make the wound worse, but you can still heal from the wound that existed before they came into your life and then pretty much erase them from your life. I want to give you guys such good news, by the way, that, yeah, it may have taken me a couple of years. I'm trying to think back how long it took me to fully heal. There was one that took me decades, okay, to heal from. And that's because I don't think I ever dealt with my own woundedness, the truth about myself and to work on myself. I just felt like I was too broken to be fixed. And I felt like um, that I was too broken and and there was just no hope, right? You get to that point sometimes with a narcissist that's in your life that just dogs you for so long. You buy into their lies. But it took me a couple of decades to heal from that. But then other narcissists that have been in my life, it seems like it didn't take me very long. It's kind of funny. Once you're able to recognize what your woundedness was that brought this narcissist into your life, and you can heal from that. Once you decide what it is or figure out what it is that allowed that narcissist to come into your life, what it was that was lacking in your life that the narcissist filled, even with their fakeness, right? They filled it. Once you realize what that is, you do start to heal and they no longer have that control over you. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to close some blinds here because the sun is in my eyes. Let's see if I can get it down. This does not want to go. There we go. That'll be better. Oh, much better. So yeah, if you heal from that, you're not going to be affected by the narcissist anymore. That is the good news. The funny thing actually is that you're still going to be remembered by the narcissist because, as we all know, the narcissist doesn't heal. That's such a sad thing actually for them. They don't heal. They cling to the past. They live in the fantasy world that they created because that's where they get all of their self-worth. They cannot do the introspection that we do. They can't do the self-examination that we do. They can't admit to themselves that they were wrong. They can't admit that they need to change, right? Because I don't know. I mean, I feel so bad for one of the narcissists in my life. Actually, I feel really bad for my mom. I'm looking at her and I do wish her well. I hope that she will change, but it's sad. I don't know that she'll ever go back and admit anything. Like she could heal so much if she could just go back and admit where she was wrong about certain things. But she's so broken, and narcissists are broken people, but they have something besides that brokenness, and I'm not quite sure why. They just cannot heal, right? They really, you can't reach them. They're not plugged into reality for some reason. It's so bizarre. But it's impossible to have a real conversation with a narcissist, a deep one, where you can see that they're actually present. I've had other conversations with narcissists and they seem sympathetic because they know how to behave like that, right? They put on the guise of being sympathetic and they might say the right things. But you kind of sense like they're not really there. They don't really listen. They don't really engage in a way. They might say a few things that makes it sound like they're listening, but then you kind of notice or sense there's this visceral, feeling that you have, just a gut feeling, like they're not really there because they're not. They're thinking of other things. They're condemning you. They're actually celebrating that you're having a bad time. In their head, they're celebrating. And that's why there's this weird, bizarre disjointedness with them. Like they don't really want to get into your sadness with you or your problem with you. They don't really want to engage with you and be there for you. It's just weird. I'm just trying to think back to the times I've had those conversations with a couple of narcissists that I thought were friends, right? I thought they were good friends. And then when they ended up stabbing me in the back, I realized, holy cow, wait a minute. I made up things for them. I allowed them to get away with things that they shouldn't have, right? I overlooked their behavior, their character a couple of times and didn't question it because I just wanted to assume the best of them because they were my friends. And now when I look back at it, I realize, oh, that's where I was lacking. I was lacking in the area of friendship where I felt like while I'm healing, of course, a lot of people who come out of narcissistic abuse relationships, especially parental ones, you may not be able to have close relationships, or you do for a while, but then you don't because you don't know how to continually feed relationships. So people tend to fall away from you when you don't keep up with them. And there's a whole other lot of things that goes behind that. But mainly, a narcissist can come into your life and be your friend and be your BFF and act as if they care, but then they slander you, they're backstabbing you to other people, they're comparing themselves to you, they're jealous of you. They don't admit, of course, that they're jealous of you, but they'll say things that make you go, well, that's weird that they would say that. And yeah, I can give you an example where so one of my narcissist friends, she was on welfare at the time. She was going through some really upheavals in her life. She wasn't always on welfare, but at this moment in her life, she was. And we became friends before that, and then while she was going through welfare. And I remember, a family member passed away, and I ended up getting their car. I didn't really want it, but they insisted, other family members insisted that I take the car because they knew I could use it. And it was a really nice car. Okay, it was super nice. It was, yeah, worth a lot of money. So she would come over and she would just be so focused on the car, and I'm like, okay, it's no big deal. Like I'm not a car person, so I don't notice even the make, the model, nothing, right? It doesn't occur to me. But she was very aware of the model of this car and that it was a top-notch car. She was a totally car person, and she would tell me how even on her welfare checks, she was planning, she's thinking about possibly getting a car just like that. And I'm like, what? How? What? Not that, anyway, yeah, just things like that. They will drop certain information that makes you wonder, like, well, why would they say that? And the reason is the jealousy. The reason is they want something that you have. The reason is, and I just didn't think about it. I was like, okay, that's weird. I wouldn't think. Like, I've been on unemployment before, and not welfare, but on unemployment. And I absolutely know that while I was on unemployment, there was no way I was thinking about buying a brand new car, right? And like that's the time to tighten up and pay your bills and reduce your spending. But in her case, she was looking at something that a friend had, me, right? And she wanted it. So here she is convincing herself that she can afford this, even on welfare. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? It didn't occur to me then, but now when I look back at it, I realized, holy cow, that is a big flag of a narcissist. Like they don't see the limitations, the responsibilities that they should have. Instead, they think that they deserve something that they can't even achieve, right? That they didn't. Anyway, how do I say this? They feel entitled. Like if one of their friends can have this, then they are entitled to also have this, regardless of their financial situation, regardless of whether they built up enough savings, regardless of whether they made wise decisions about um, their finances. They feel like if one of my friends is able to get this, then I deserve the same thing. And that's creepy, you guys. What will end up happening, which happened to me, is that she ended up backstabbing me. And at that point, I realized, what the heck? I mean, it took me a long time because I want to think the best of people. I don't focus on their bad traits, but I've become wiser now. Now I make a mental note, and then I realize, okay, I can't really be close to that person. That person has issues, and then you start to distance yourself from narcissists. You start to see those kinds of narcissists that only come in to rob, steal, and destroy. That's a scripture, by the way. The enemy comes in to rob, steal, and destroy. Wait, kill, steal, and destroy. And that's what narcissists do. Their intention is not for good. Their intention is not to do something positive in your life that because they just love you so much. If they do something positive in your life that impacts you and positively, it's because it benefits them somehow and in the long run, or earns them points with you because they can get something out of you now. Yeah. Wow. Wow, you guys. I should have. Okay, I'm going to read some comments here. We've talked about how the narcissist does remember you. The narcissist does use you in their stories, especially with the new supply. And they build you up. That's the funny thing. They build you up. They're like, oh, you were the best, sex they've ever had, or you were so the best cook, or you were so thoughtful. You were always, your their family loved you, right? And they'll say these things to the new supply to manipulate the new supply to behave the way they want the new supply to behave. And the new supply is like, why the heck are you talking about your ex so much? Oh my gosh, you guys, it's absolutely crazy town there. All right, let me see. How do I go back? I'm sorry, I don't want to go back too far. Here we go. I think I'm almost there. Jennifer says, I swear I have so many feelings. LOL. I could go on forever. Yeah, we do. We have to go through all these feelings, with the new with the what am I saying? With the narcissist, and even the new supply. Because looking over there, when we see the new supply, it does bother us. It does make us feel bad because it makes us feel like we were nothing to the narcissist. But that's not the case, you guys. That's not the case at all. The narcissist is talking you up. I'll tell you that right now. Either talking you up or bashing you. Actually, there is that side as well. So when it serves them, which is most likely at the beginning of the relationship, they will bash you, right? At the beginning of their relationship with their new supply, they'll tell the new supply how horrible you were, how manipulative you were, how abusive you were, how, so that they can be the victim, and the new supply would be like, oh, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fix everything for you, and I'm going to be so good to you and help you heal from what happened between you and the ex. um, so at first the narc is going to play you up like this terrible person. And then once they realize like the new supply is not doing everything they want the new supply to do, then suddenly you become this incredible ex they had that did all these wonderful things for them. And they'll say to the new supply, but I couldn't stay with them because of all these other things. But they're going to talk about all the good things you did, which is going to drive the new supply crazy, by the way. It's going to make the new supply so angry at them. Yeah. Yeah, Stephanie says, yes, amen. We need to celebrate that we escaped Crazytown. Yes. Lady Mark says, you definitely are helping me. I'm so blessed I found your channel. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to have you guys here. Jennifer says, yes, please keep doing this. You're so welcome. We've got to keep each other going in these times, right? I absolutely agree. And this is why I really want to continue doing the weekly live streams, you guys, because we can interact right in real time. That to me is amazing. And it's like a therapy group. Obi-Wan used to call this his weekly therapy, which I love. It's so true. It's good for all of us. Lady Mark says, I knew every single detail about my Narc's ex from what he did. Hold on. Let me see if I understand that. Is it because of, all the things he told you about the his ex? Yeah. Obi says, they say good things about you to the new supply for triangulation. Absolutely. Sui R says, hi. Good to see you. Yeah. Jennifer says, I just didn't want to believe it. Wow, we'd been friends first too. So I guess Jennifer was friends with the new supply, me and his ex. Now it's all ruined. Maybe thankfully, but I still wonder about him a lot actually. Yeah. It's easy to think about the narc and the new supply and think that everything is going smoothly, everything's beautiful because you're remembering and mourning the good things, right? Even the fake good things, the things that were promised to you. You're picturing now that your ex is promising all these things to the new supply. But remember, it's just promises. They're just words. They're not real. And everything that's happening in their relationship are exactly the same things that happened with you, except I think worse. I think worse things are happening. Yeah. Stephanie says, my covert narc always talked crap about his exes. He was always the professional victim, never anything nice to say about anyone. Wow. Yep. And then you'll have that as well. Jennifer says, and sometimes about her too. I miss things. You missed your friend, right? We'd never really been on a bad page beforehand. If so, it was all him then and now. Yeah, narcissist does come between friends, sadly enough. And it's possible that your friendship can heal later on once your friend has broken up with the narcissist, because you guys are going to have a lot of comparing to do. You're going to see that you walk through a lot of the same things. Yeah. But until they break up, there's no, yeah, you cannot be in a relationship, even a friendship with the narc's new supply, even though that new supply used to be your friend. Yeah, it's gonna, because they're going to use you to fuel their relationship. So instead of fighting each other, they're going to be pitting you as the enemy and they're going to hate you. And this is so sad. I've seen some crime shows. If you guys know me at all, you know that I also have watched a lot of crime shows, real crime shows, not the fake dramas, right? But where the third person is always the scapegoat. The ex or a new third person they bring in is always the target of all of their anger and frustrations with each other. Instead of them taking it out on each other, the new supply and the narcissist, they will take it out on the third person. And that third person can be the narc's ex and possibly the new supply's friend. So get out of there. You do not want to be caught in that triangulation. You do not want to be caught in. And it's weird because it's not quite a love triangle. It's weird. It's more of a blame shifting triangle where now they have someone to take out all their frustrations on. And in fact, you kind of help their relationship by being there as a third person, because instead of them fighting each other, they're going to fight you. They're going to target you. They're going to manipulate and scheme against you, right? Because they're going to see you as the reason and the problem for all of their problems, instead of looking at each other and saying, no, wait a minute, we have to fix our own relationship. Yeah, this is what happens when sick people, I'm watching this in some situations here already, in front of my eyes, actually on the public scene, where people devour each other. People who were on the same team will devour each other when their common enemy is no longer there. When the common enemy leaves the arena, suddenly it's like, now who are they going to rage against, right? Who are they going to put all their frustrations on? Well, they're going to put it on each other. So that's why I would suggest you get out of there. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Lady Mark says he got mad and would tell me, wait, did I miss this somewhere? Yeah. He got mad and would tell me I'm so negative because he noticed I changed and didn't like how I changed. So he would insult me. Yep. As we get stronger, the narcissist hate that. Hates that. The narcissist doesn't want you to change, wants you to be exactly the same pushover you were before. Yep. Whoa. Yeah, you don't do that, Obi. Well, you guys, we are quite a ways past our hour. I'm just going to let you finish up some of your comments with each other, and I'm going to scan through some of the comments here. Well, that's interesting. Maria says, Narcs will call you crazy till the cows come home, yet they make no effort to keep their distance from you. Yeah, interesting, right? If you're the crazy one and they're calling you crazy, then why don't they just keep their distance, right? Good point. Yeah. Oh, Stephanie, I agree with that. So true. Some narcs, they like to be in abusive relationships. They're very dysfunctional. Oh my gosh. Yep. I have a friend whose girlfriend had told him, that she wants to see anger from him. I mean, he's a very even keeled guy, and much like my husband, very even keeled. And I love that about my husband, by the way. I love that not much um, will disturb him, I guess. I mean, he has feelings. It's not like he doesn't have feelings, but he doesn't explode, right? He's very calm. And to me, that's a very safe person. Someone who bad things can be happening to him or even all around him, and he will make wise decisions because he's calm. He doesn't get into the fray and become emotionally crazy with everybody else. He's stable. And to me, I think that's beautiful. That's actually so good. Now, yeah, of course, if you're angry, you got to learn also and stressed or frustrated, you need to learn healthy ways to relieve that or express that. For him, it's exercising, which is awesome for me because, that's kind of hot. But yeah, he doesn't take it out on other people, which gains him a lot of respect from his coworkers and his boss. Yeah, he's adored. I love my husband, but it's not just me. Other people love him too. So I have this other friend who is pretty even keeled like him, sort of. Not quite, I think, as good as my husband, but but the girlfriend, is telling him that she wants to see him lose it. She wants to see him get angry and blow his top and all that business. And he's like, wow, I've never done that before. So he's being told, not that I think the girlfriend's a narcissist, but I think she is a little bit um, detached herself. So it's just weird to me to watch that. I did warn him and let him know that it's not good to just to blow your top. I mean, it's good to have a way to express yourself, like and he runs. So you like go for a run, yell into the air, into the mountains, and express yourself, but not at someone. Like, it's not good to take your frustration and anger out at someone just because the girlfriend's there saying, "Yeah, I want you to do this." It just reminded me of what you were saying. I think it was Maria, that narcissists like being in abusive situations. They like the drama. They like the toxicity for some reason, and they encourage it. It's creepy. It is creepy, and they think that's being real. It's like, it's not being real. That's being out of control. That's having no self control. That's not being real. That's being abusive. And being real is being able to tell someone you don't agree with them, and not afraid to tell them that you don't agree with them, but you're real enough that you still love this person, you still respect this person, you still like this person, but you just don't agree with them. I mean, that's real. Being fake is pretending like you agree with them because you don't want to get into an argument or a disagreement or whatever. Which I had, by the way, last week with a friend of mine. I could see it made her very unhappy that I disagreed with her, but here's the deal. Um, yeah, she was saying something that I disagreed with, and I pretty much just told her, "Well, I don't really agree with that." And there was a third friend there who looked at me like, "No, no." Uh, you know, I think I made the third person feel a little uncomfortable because she could see how our mutual friend was not happy that I disagreed. But here's the deal: it's okay to do that with good friends, and good friends can take it. Good friends can be real with each other. We don't always have to agree on everything. We can disagree with each other's perspectives on stuff, and even decisions. We can disagree with it. It's okay. But, I wasn't trying to push it on her. It's just that she'd already said this one thing a couple of times to me. And the first time I just let it go. The second time now, I was like, you know what? I don't really agree with that. And made her uncomfortable. But here's the deal, it's okay. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I'm right. I mean, she may be completely right and I'm wrong. But for now, I just don't see it that way. I don't see it her way. And we were able to go through that. We were having lunch, and a few minutes later, we were hugging and laughing, and we were fine. So things worked out just fine. That's being real. Blowing your top at people to show that you're frustrated, or that you don't agree, or that you feel very against what they're saying. That's not being real. That's just being abusive and toxic. And we don't want to do that in our relationships. Aw, Stephanie says, on my healing journey, and I love myself so much now, I will never allow anyone to abuse me ever again. Flaws and all, flaws and all, you're you are worthy of real love. You have to be your own true love. That's excellent. I like that. It's true. You have to like yourself. Maybe may not love yourself, but at least like yourself. Be the kind of person you would like to be around, right? And once you are, you're like, hey, I love this. I love being around people who are like me. And I think maybe that's why my friends and I get along so well, because we all have done this kind of a journey. We've all been through pretty harsh relationships, and maybe not all of us. I'm trying to think. There are a couple of people I don't really know their deeper stories yet, but those of us who hang out weekly, it's so awesome, you guys, being around people who've gone through this journey. Even though we went through the journey separately, we understand each other. We know self control now. We know, like, we enjoy each other's company because we're very similar. We like each other. We like each other because we're all kind, loving, sensitive to others. We're all real, and that's the biggest part, by the way, is being real with each other, not losing it type of real, like this friend's girlfriend says to be, but we're respectful of each other. We're considerate of each other. So much good can come out of this, you guys. Once you become the kind of person that you like, and you become the kind of person you want to be, and the kind of person that would attract people that you like, then oh my gosh, so many things open up for you. Lover of the Truth says, I don't do social media. Anyone that I care to speak to and know what's going on in my life has my cell number. And you know what? I'm going back to the same thing. I am going back to the same thing. I'm about ready to get off of different media. But one thing I forgot to mention to you guys, I am switching over, not switching over. I'm also opening up another site if you get tired of YouTube, because like I was showing you, or what you experienced earlier when it kicked me off, and I was like, what the heck? I want, and also YouTube takes a lot of our profits, by the way. I think they take something like 40% of every dollar that we earn, which really sucks. So if you can watch a video or something like that once in a while, that would help me out a lot. But I only get 60% of anything that I earn from YouTube. So I'm not moving, but I am also opening up another media called from Rumble. So if you want, you can find me there on Rumble. Also, you can find me on my website. I would like to get that monetized at some point, but I'm not quite sure how the website gets monetized. Maybe watch a commercial or two from the website as well. I think they take a lot less than what YouTube takes. And of course, you can always buy me a cup of coffee. There's a link on my website to do that, which then I get 90% of whatever you donate to me, which is awesome. So I appreciate that. Just watch the videos. If you can't contribute, I understand that. Just watch the video, watch a commercial now and again, recommend my videos to others, share them, make comments at the end. So that would be great if you guys would do that. Hey, Michael J, you're just hopping on, says good morning. Oh, Angel says, I eat potato chips and dip through the hard times. That's funny. Well, you know what? I am not a stress eater, which I guess is a blessing. So, yeah, what happens is when I'm stressed, I don't eat. I lose my appetite. My husband will ask me to, like, well, aren't you hungry? Don't you want something to eat? And I'm like, no, I'm just too stressed right now. And that's when I know I have to get my mind straight and right so that I can eat healthy. Thank you, Jennifer. Says, thank you again for all you do and speak about. And I already can't wait for next week. Next week's therapy session. LOL. See y'all then, and blessings to all. Thank you, Jennifer. Blessings to you too. Yeah, Jennifer says, this may never fully make sense to me, but you have helped so much, to be honest. I'm so glad. That's exactly why we're here. Well, you guys, we are almost at an hour and a half, and I definitely don't want to go over an hour and a half. I'll let you wrap up your conversations right here. I'm going to look at some more comments here. Oh, yeah. Jennifer says, my friend and I knew each other first. We weren't the best friends in all the universe, but we were pretty close. I didn't know him before. Then they got together. Life happened, kids happened. Yeah, yeah. It didn't work out, obviously. And sometime later, we got together and it ruined everything. He ruined everything. I allowed it. She warned me. Now it's all to hell. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, sometimes the narcissist gets in there and they get you doing things and saying things and so emotionally blind that we do things that will destroy our other relationships. And it's a way for them to isolate you. It's another way for them to play you like a puppet. So that's another reason why we don't want narcissists to be anywhere near our other relationships. Well, you guys, that is our happy crappy hour for this week. I am so glad that you hopped on. I'm so glad that you bore with me through that time when YouTube kicked me off for I don't know what reason. And I was really worried that I'd have to start a new live stream, but luckily I was able to recover this one. Thank you for sticking with me through all of that. And thank you for coming back this week. And I will see you guys, though, next week. I want to give you some good things to think about. Think about what you are in control of, okay? That's a challenge to you this week. Think about what are you in control of. There are many things we're not in control of. Just let that go, right? You have to learn, like, okay, if I can't control it, what good is it for me to worry and think about it and spend a ton of time on it when I can't do anything about it? Think about what you can do. If you're a praying person, pray over it. Like if you can't physically do anything about it, pray about it. If you're a meditating person, meditate on it, right? But positively. Think about solutions, good things, blessings on people. Bless people in your life. So, whatever you are in control of, think about that. See what you can do. Make some good decisions for yourself this week and move in a positive direction. Well, you guys, God bless all of you. I am praying for us every week. I'm praying for you guys and by name when I see you come up. So know that someone is looking out after you, all right? I will see you next week. Take care.